Okay, guys, so this week we've got a split squat, and these are with tempo. But Coach Sam asked me to put this video together mainly because I have two ankles, and it's kind of helpful there. But I want to share with you this is a movement that's we're going to attack a little differently. And if I could reference the shrimp squat from last week, one of the things we talked about in the shrimp squat was ankle range of motion. And the shrimp squat is like a dialed back piece of the pistol. The pistol is that single leg squat. The pistol demands so much ankle range of motion. But I think that sometimes we forget how much ankle range of motion is really demanded of all of the squats that we do, whether it's single leg, double leg, whatever it may be. And so I wanted to give you kind of a couple of quick notes here and how we're going to approach the split squat for tomorrow. One of the things is tempo. So tempo is going to be the main ingredient here over load. So if you can't accomplish the tempo, then you shouldn't be loading it. The other piece to this is if you can't accomplish the appropriate range of motion, you shouldn't be loading it. And then in addition to that, if this thing seems to cause discomfort in the knees, which it could, as I'll share with you in a second, then you shouldn't be loading it, okay? So this can get a lot accomplished just by body weight. Should we load it, we're gonna hold a kettlebell at our chest in that goblet position, or we might even hold it like a double dumbbell, or you could even do a double kettlebell hold, but we're gonna front load this thing if we do. So on the split squat, so if we do like a rear foot elevated split squat where we had our foot popped up on the bench here, a lot of times we're going down and up, and you can see my knee, it still tracks forward here, but a lot of people don't realize how much it tracks forward. Sometimes when we do a split squat, we're set up here and we go down, and notice I have this nice vertical shin here. So I've got this 90-90, and when we do like maybe a step back lunge, a lot of times we'll encourage that 90-90, and what that does is that distributes the weight more towards our backside, our hamstrings, our glutes, that sort of stuff. But at the same time, it takes away from the quadricep. Now, in maybe a conditioning type piece, I might want to deload the quadricep because I don't want to be so quad dominant. In the case of the split squat tomorrow, we are actually going to load that quad. We're going to be a little bit more quad dominant with the movement. So what it's going to look like is I'm going to be in that split squat position, but as I go down, notice how this is extended. My back leg's as extended as it can get, but a lot of times when we talk to clients about initiating the squat movement, we talk about initiating at our hips. Okay, so I might think about like initiating this movement at my back leg if I wanted to stay at a vertical shin. I actually want to initiate the movement with my front leg. So as I go down, I'm going to initiate the knee going forward to position me in a spot that my knee is actually almost in line with the toes. And it might even track a little bit forward depending on how much range of motion we have. I'm not going to track so far that my knee or that my heel comes off the ground, but I do want to have this front knee loaded. And as I come up, I really want to think about pushing off my big toe on the front side, okay? Coach Sam will use the term like pushing, like sliding the floor away from you as you extend up, okay? But I really want to think about pushing off my big toe, not so much pushing off my heel, right? And I exaggerated that, obviously pulling my heels up. So that's the position that we're looking for. That can train that ankle range of motion in an active position, in an active motion. So I can come down and press up. Now on the tempo, each rep should take 8 seconds. So that means if you take less than a minute and 4 seconds, 64 seconds to do one leg, okay, then you didn't maintain the tempo. The way the tempo is going to go is 1, 2, 3, 1001, 1, 2, 3, 1001, 1, 2, 3, 1001, 1, 2, 3, 1001. You got the 1001 in between, a pause at the bottom and a pause at the top. We did this in our shred work last year. We did a lot of tempo work. It's that time under tension. Tempo should be maintained over load being added, okay? If you're someone that struggles with that knee position, getting that knee in front, and you're going to feel a decent amount of pressure here, okay? You might feel some discomfort in that knee. A lot of times it has to do with maybe patellar tendon, has to do with the quad tendon, something like that. Sometimes it's just some arthritic change going on in the knee as we get a little older. That being said, this position can be a healthy position for the knee. I would try to work this position or go down and just back off the depth a little bit or the position a little bit. So notice how my knee is still here. I just don't want to be in this vertical shin position. I do want to load that quadricep. That's actually going to be helpful to really promote some increased blood flow to that knee joint, okay? So again, that's what we're looking at on the split squat there, making sure that we maintain that full foot on the ground, pushing through the toe, but really traveling with that knee coming forward over that knee staying back, okay? If you struggled with the split squat or with the shrimp squats last week on ankle range of motion, this is a great progression to that movement. And if you think about it, all of these motions really relate to what we do on a regular squat. If I were to grab a barbell and do a front squat, if you're someone that struggles with squat depth here, thrusters, anything else like that, right? Look at my range of motion of my ankle. My knee has to travel forward. If you're someone who has this massive toe out position, when you squat, like you go down and then your feet want to go like this, you know what that is? It's a lack of dorsiflexion in the ankle. And so typically what happens is our body is lazy and it compensates well. So if I can't squat forward, like with my toes coming forward, my knee or my toes will widen out to create more range or more position for my ankle to accommodate for that lack of dorsiflexion. If you're someone that wants to go down a step and you're like, well, cool, Josh, I don't care if I can squat a house, right? All right, well, here you go. I'm on a stair. Guess what I have to do when I when I step down a stair? You see that motion right there? That is knee in front of the toe significantly. Okay, see that ankle range of motion? If I don't have that, here's what happens. And I trip, okay? That's why people fall down stairs, because they don't have proper ankle range of motion. So if you want to know why ankle range of motion is important, do that, okay? That is a significant ankle change or dorsiflexion right there, okay? So that's why ankle range of motion matters. That's why we're training the split squat. That's how it carries over to the other squats that we do. Best of luck on this movement tomorrow. If you have questions, you're not sure on this movement, make sure you work with your coach on a proper scale or modification. If something feels tight in there, that's probably okay. Maybe we need to train that range of motion. If something's painful, obviously we want to make an adjustment there, okay? Work in a pain-free range of motion, work in a range of motion that you can control, and work with your coaches on a proper modification for that. See you guys.